I want to give you a quick demonstration here on how to set up the JawJacker. I'm going to fold out the legs, pop the feet into place. I'm going to pull my pins, slide the trigger slide out, and then I'm going to fold up this rod holder here. And I'm going to go ahead and replace this pin into one of these holes here, and I'm going to set this rod angle where it's sitting up the highest. That's what works good with this little rod up here on these good sized rainbows up at Hebgen Lake. I'm going to go ahead and set that down, and here's my rod, and I've got a little rod tip loop here that I've attached to the eyelet. Let me show you that. So there's that rod tip, and you can see that little loop is attached through itself, it's kind of looped through itself, and it's right around the sidebar support of that eyelet. I'm going to go ahead and drop my jigs down the hole. I'm going to get them down to about the depth I want. Here we're fishing probably 10-12 feet. And I like to take the line and pull it straight out of the end of the rod tip there, because it kind of helps straighten out the kinks and the loops in the line. I think that's getting to where it's on the bottom there. I'm going to reel up my slack. Go ahead and get the JawJacker over the hole there. I'm going to put my rod in the rod holder. I'm going to bend this rod tip down and adjust the trigger slide so this rod tip comes right over the top of the trigger. Now I'm going to go ahead and make sure my jigs are down about where I want them. This should be good there. Foot or two off the bottom. I'm going to take this rod tip, bend it down. I'm going to attach this little rod tip loop to the hook that's on this trigger mechanism. I'm going to put the loop on the end of the rod tip right through that loop hook there. Make sure it's right around that loop hook. I'm going to rotate this little bar forward, and I can hold it down with a thumb tab. I'm going to rotate the trigger up, and I can let that thumb tab go. That's holding the rod tip down. Next, I'm going to take the line and put it right through that U-shaped groove. Make sure it's right in there. Let it go, and it's set. You always want to make sure you got your head back when you're doing this, just for safety reasons. Just wanted to show you a couple of adjustments here on the JawJacker. Now you can adjust your trigger tension so that, you know, if you're using like a 1/4 ounce jig, normally the weight of that jig will set the JawJacker off. You know, it's so sensitive that that'll easily set it off. So what you do is increase your trigger tension by screwing in this wing nut here, and that'll compress the spring against the side of that trigger and make it harder to set off, so you can use larger jigs and larger lures. Also, if you're using you know, like live minnows, you can adjust your trigger tension so that the action of the minnow, you know, the minnow swimming around, won't trip off the JawJacker, but a big fish coming along and sucking it up will. Wanted to show you here another adjustment on the JawJacker. You can see there's 3 holes, and I can take this pin and place it in any one of these 3 holes. And if I place it in this hole that's further back, that'll make this rod holder here at a higher angle. So if I'm going after bigger fish, walleye, trout, you know, then I can set my rod angle higher to set the hook a little bit harder. And if I'm going after, let's say, kokanee salmon, crappie, bluegill, then I can set my rod angle a little bit lower so I'm not setting the hook quite as hard on those light paper mouth fish. Well, hopefully that little demonstration will help you set up and fine-tune your JawJacker. Good luck out on the ice.